Hi friends, welcome to the Mastermind Moments podcast.
Hosted by your pals, Josh and Sasha.
Join us during our weekly mastermind as we collaborate on how to make the most out of our lives.
Not only are we going to mastermind our careers, we're going to work on all areas of life together.
Let's do it. Listen in as we make the most of our mastermind moments.
Hello, howdy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay. We'll get into it on the pod, but for all of you listening, we have a super special surprise guest. Josh did not know that. Josh has no idea who is about to get on the pod right now. He has zero clue. Do you have any guesses?
Not really. No, I've been
Okay.
trying to think since you told me. I've had it in my head. I'm like, who could it possibly be? But
Okay. Well, anyway, for anyone listening, we have a super special surprise guest on the pod today. I know who it is, obviously. I'm staying at their house right now. It's one of our I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna turn it around and show you. Hold on, I gotta move the camera.
oh my God.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Steph. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. You know what? That was gonna be my guess. I was like, it doesn't look sunny in the background, but I guess you're in Florida, right?
No.
No, we're
Oh,
in
you're
New
not.
Jersey.
Okay. You're in
Yeah.
Jersey. Okay.
Steph's family lives about an hour from my family, so I just spent the night last night and I'm here and I'll be leaving at some point today, but I'm just here hanging out.
Oh my God. Steph and I have been talking about trying to catch up for probably about 10 years now.
All right.
Yeah, no, not really, not 10 years, but it's been a while. And oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps.
I'm so happy to see you.
You too. How was UPW?
It was good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure both of you had very different experiences.
Yeah, definitely different. For everyone listening, Stephanie is one of our closest friends. We've known Steph. For me, I've known her Steph for 13 years. We're actually celebrating 13 years of friendship. I'm actually wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing the youth group hoodie that I was wearing when we met, and Steph wore hers last night. It was really cute. I'm sad that you're not wearing it now,
Yeah,
but it's fine.
sorry.
And Josh met Steph at the same camp where we've met basically all the other guests we've had on so far. Just we're rotating our friends coming on the podcast. It's so nice, honestly.
It is, and everyone's got the same mindset, same kind of background in personal development, so they're good guests to have, for sure. I think I've known Steph for probably the same amount of time, right? 13
Yeah,
years.
I think so.
In my second year, so when I was 15. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on career. How do you handle work-related stress and burnout? What do you think, Josh?
It's very relevant because that's where my shift has come from over the last week, and we spoke about this before, but we can get into that a bit later on. For me, it's just, and we've spoken about work-life balance before on the pod, and it just comes down to making sure that you find time for fun, find time to get away from work, shut off from the universe of work, and don't think about it. And that can be easier said than done, but it's important to set those boundaries. And if you don't set the boundaries, then you'll could well end up burning out. But I think that's the best way to avoid it, really.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it's really staying centered in the chaos, because I think when we're centered inside, our work stress doesn't always seem as turbulent.
Yeah. I think mine's kind of a combination of both. Like finding the time for fun, but then also reminding myself to stay centered and like using the practices that we've talked about to stay centered for sure. So that was short and simple and sweet. Sometimes the wheel like is an extra 10, 15 minutes of us just like riffing off, but I think we have to get into the meat. Josh, what is happening? What is this shift that's happened? Tell us.
Well, we did talk about it last week. Well, we did talk about it last week, where I was deciding between sticking with quitting my job and just seeing that out, and then making that kind of shift towards setting up a business, side hustling, whatever that may be over the next couple of months. And the other option was to continue with my job, to take back my resignation and to just completely shift my mindset. And off the back of our very brief conversation a couple of days ago, I think that's probably what you can assume has happened, and it has happened. I decided to take back my notice. I spoke to my boss about it, and he said, Josh, please stay. We would love to keep you. And so I said, yeah, okay, fine. I'd love to stay. And honestly, it felt like such a weight off my shoulders. I mean, you could see it as I've made the decision to stay within my comfort zone because it's a job that I've been doing for a year and a half now, which is unheard of for me. I never stick at jobs this long. So that's one thing. So I guess in that regard, it's stepping out of my comfort zone, but not really, because it is a very comfortable job. But the way I've been doing the job over the last probably 6+ months, since I moved into my new place, really, is how I measure it by. It has been super comfortable, and I haven't been putting the work in. I've been putting absolute bare minimum effort in, which means that I'm not doing the deals, I'm not making the money, I'm not impressing my bosses. There's no chance of a promotion. And the shifts that we discussed before, which is what's happened, and I've seen such a drastic, I've never seen this before in my in sort of my own mentality and in my brain. When I say that I'm going to do something, mentally, physically, whatever it is, I very rarely do it. I very rarely stick to it, right? And we've spoken about this before. I just have real issues following through. It's been about a week now, so it was the day after we spoke last time that this all happened. And I've just turned into a machine. I made the conscious effort, and I thought, if I stick at this job, I have to make this shift. I have to, because otherwise I'm going to be miserable. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm going to spend most of my day just twiddling my thumbs with nothing to do. So I have to actually commit to this, or I'm just going to continue being miserable and following that same pattern. And I mean, it's only a weekend. Of course, it's only a weekend, but I feel so good about it right now. I'm in a position where I could be making really good money with the deals that I'm doing. Beforehand, just to give you an idea of the kind of shift I've seen over the last week. Before this happened, before I served my notice at work, I was making maybe 20, 30 phone calls a day, averaging less than an hour on the phone every day. Since this shift, almost every day over the last week, I've been making anywhere from 90 to 100 phone calls. I've been spending 3-4 hours on the phone. It's just, I mean, literally quadrupling my workload. It's been huge, and there's only room for more as well. And I know how you felt about it. I feel like you were pushing in a certain direction, which I understood, and there were benefits to both side of things, but I feel really good about this, and I can see myself sticking with this for a long time now, at least giving it another year in this job while I try and figure out another plan. And I can work hard on both of those things. I don't have to quit one thing to work hard on another, which was my mindset before. And it also means that there is very minimal chance of me relapsing, which was becoming a very serious, quite scary reality, potentially, if I stuck with the path that I was taking. So that's where I am. And I feel really good about it. It's been a very good week for mental growth. Physical growth, not so much, but for mental growth, definitely.
It's like the duality. I think sometimes we always want to be where we know we're supposed to be, but we forget that we can also stay where we are while working to where we want to go. But it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, that's it. I think a difficulty I was really facing before was that I had this mindset that I have to quit in order to work on another plan, or the idea that I come up with in my head was that if I serve my notice, it's 2 months notice to leave, that's going to force me into action. But I know myself better than anyone. I know myself better than I do. And I know that wasn't going to work. I know it wasn't going to happen. I saw the path that I was going down after handing in my notice, and I just thought, it's not going to work. So I need to figure out a way where I shift my mindset. I completely reprogram the way that my mind thinks about work, about working hard, and that's the only way that I can make this happen. I'm the only one who has control over this, right? Over my mind. And I'm the only one who can make this happen, make this shift happen, and already seeing a big difference. And I just need to keep it.
Yeah. And I wonder if a part of the reason you weren't feeling fulfilled in your career is because you weren't really giving it your all and seeing the results. I wonder if you'd feel more fulfilled if you were actually seeing the results and actually putting in the work to achieve what you want.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think I saw for years since I left school, I've seen friends, I've seen celebrities, sports people who go into an industry and they clearly, their life revolves around work, right? They love what they do to the point where it's their entire identity. And I've never had that. And I've always been so jealous of people who do have that. And I've always thought I need to move into something like finance or to become a teacher or to move into to become a sports person or journalist or anything that I'm more passionate about or could be more passionate about or don't feel so ashamed of identifying with. I always looked at those people and I was so jealous of them and I was like, I wish I could be like that so I could identify and actually just not feel like I'm working hard for the sake of working hard because it fulfills me and because I identify with my job. And I've never had that mindset with this industry, with real estate, which is what I've always done. Even though it's what I've always done, I've never identified with it. And I'm quite ashamed to be in that industry. I always have been. But again, that's another mental shift that I need to make. And
You
actually,
feel ashamed for being in real estate? Why?
I think that's just a negative self-talk thing. I think in my mind, the stigma attached to real estate is that it's for people who don't have qualifications, right? Which is true of me. I didn't go to college. I didn't really finish school. And so I ended up falling into real estate, which is the same for a lot of people in the UK. I think it's the same for a lot of people in the US as well, because, you don't have to have a college education to end up in real estate. So I've always been a little bit ashamed of it, but there's nothing to be ashamed of,
Yeah.
especially if I make a success of it.
It's like the rules that you're giving yourself on being a real estate agent.
Yeah, exactly. And no one else thinks like that. Every time I tell people what I do, they're like, God, that's so cool. You must make so much money. And I'm like, But it is cool. It's an interesting industry. It's where there is huge amounts of money. And there's just so many small mental shifts that I need to make in order to change my approach. And I'm well on that way. I think this last week has been really important for that. And just this mindset that I don't need to feel ashamed anymore. I can identify with what I do and really pour everything I have into it. I think, as you just said, I've half-hearted it. I've half-assed it for the longest time. And that's probably why it wasn't fulfilling me.
Yeah.
I think we forget that every time we make like these 2mm shifts, like it's literally essentially just one foot in front of the other, and in a whole year we're a completely different place if all we do is take the next step in us.
Yeah.
Steph's just dropping the mic. She's just like, wisdom mic. Boom.
Always. But yeah, so that's the main shift, and I feel pretty good about it. So life is good. And how was your experience? How was your last week?
Ha ha. Well, you got the update. So for everyone listening, everyone got an update last week about what was happening. I was in the thick of it. I was in the thick of it, and I went to UPW, and ultimately I decided to leave my relationship. I'm really happy that it ultimately ended up being my decision. In the end, I don't know why that gives me so much comfort that it was my decision in the end, but it was, which I feel really good about. And it's really crazy. I'm like thinking about where I was 2 weeks ago compared to now. The amount that my life has just uprooted itself is pretty insane. But as far as UPW goes, obviously Tony Robbins is a great place to find clarity and to have realizations and to give yourself a framework of how you want to think and give yourself a space for reflection. And there were some things that Tony said that really resonated with me about what's happening in my relationship. And during the Dickens process, I don't know if anyone's actually been to UPW who's listening, but Tony takes you through a process where you uncover your own limiting beliefs and you basically rewire your own brain to stop thinking those limiting beliefs. And I realized that a lot of the limiting beliefs all the limiting beliefs I had were around my relationship and coming from my relationship. And I was realizing that I was making myself smaller to be in the relationship. I was dimming my own shine to be in the relationship. I was limiting my own growth to be in the relationship. And ultimately, it's like a choice. It's like thinking about, how do I want to live and how do I want to show up in my life? And am I choosing to stay small or am I choosing to not stay small? Am I choosing certainty or growth? What do I want for myself? So ultimately it was my decision to leave, and it's really hard. It's really hard. It's been 3 days now since everything went down, and since I think it was mutual too. I think he was on the same page as well. It's just so crazy to me that 2 weeks ago, if you told me this was going to happen, I would have said you were nuts. Like this, we were very happy. We were planning our future. I was very happy in my life. I know he was too. And all of this just came out of nowhere. And I mean, the timing of it was very impeccable for as far as Tony Robbins goes, as far as like the holidays go. It's like I've been surrounded by friends and family, if not in person, then virtually. People have been checking in on me, which has been really nice and so welcome, because after all of this, I'm really, I am truly loved by the people in my community, and like it's really wonderful to have people just like reaching out, calling me, texting me, like just to see how I'm doing, if I'm okay. And it comes in waves. Like this morning I was fucking crying to Steph, but then had a phone call and felt better. Like it really comes in waves. I'm fine, and then I'm upset, and then I'm fine, and then I'm angry, and then I'm fine, and then I feel relieved. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's also, I don't know, it's like a lot to process because it was out of nowhere. I think it'd be different if we were going through a difficult time for a long time and then all of this ended, but it was truly out of nowhere. So now I'm the plan as of right now. So it's crazy because life begins on the edge of your comfort zone. And we talked about this last week. I had the opportunity to really choose what I want to do and plan out my whole life and just go. And I am going to take the digital nomad approach. I'm going to spend a whole year guest room surfing, couch surfing, booking one-way tickets. I'm looking into digital nomad groups right now of like groups of people I can travel with and go to a cool location for a month or something like that. So I am looking into all of that, and just trying to honestly figure out, like, the uncertainty of it all is very challenging because I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going or what's happening, like how far, because I'm a planner, right? Like, this is like the most far out of my comfort zone I've ever been. Like I don't even know what's happening. Like, I had an idea for what was going to happen in January because I had a friend invite me to a Bali trip for a month, but I'm looking at like the program and it looks like it's sold out, and I'm like, okay, now I really have no idea what I'm gonna do. So it's like very outside of my comfort zone. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that you are gonna thrive after the sadness. And they both exist at the same time. If we bring up the notion of duality again, I think we think it has to be one certain way, but it gets to be both ways, and that's life. And all of the elements of life too, they are hot and cold and fast and slow, and it's just all intertwined.
Yeah. It's like both realities exist at the same time, that I'm like, I'm very sad that it ended, but I'm also relieved in some ways. And I'm really angry about things that happened, and then I'm also really excited about next year, and I'm also scared about next year, but it's also, I don't know. It's just all of these things are happening at once.
And you're choosing yourself.
Yeah. Ultimately, I'm choosing my own growth, and I'm choosing to just, if my comfort zone was like here, I'm throwing myself into the extreme. Yeah, I think right now I have the next 2 weeks home with my family, and obviously Steph's family lives an hour from mine, so I'm here with Steph today. And I have 2 weeks to just process through all of this and figure out my next move and do all of that, and then we'll see where I end up. But my offer still stands for anyone who wants to join me, because I know, Josh, you work remotely too. There are these digital nomad groups everywhere if you want to join and rent your room out. I'm serious.
I'd love to. I'm gonna have to quit my job now, aren't I?
No, you won't. I'm looking, Josh, we would be working remotely just somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I know. No, it's okay. I'd have to quit my job. But I think it is completely understandable to such a huge shift in your life, such a big change after 7 years, to have this major part of your life no longer there all of a sudden. And it did happen so suddenly. So you mentioned the course of a couple of weeks, and then even then it wasn't officially formally over and you wanted to play things out, but it's a big shift and it's completely understandable and natural to feel all of the emotions. But would you say that there's an underlying emotion, an underlying feeling towards the situation, or is it just shifting constantly?
It's constantly changing, like constantly. There's nothing underlying at all. Like it's really from 1 minute to the next, I'm in a different place emotionally. Like I can be really upset and sad and then feel relieved like 10 minutes later. Or I can, like all day yesterday, I felt fine. I was like, okay, like I made the right decision. I feel fine. And then this morning, I felt really sad. Like right now, like in general, I feel pretty sad, but okay. Nothing underlying, really. Honestly, there's so many logistics to work out. I've been so focused the last 3 days on logistics. I have a mountain of things, a mountain of random admin things that need to get sorted through that I don't even think I think I've been so focused on sorting out all the logistics about how we're unmerging our lives, what I'm going to do with my next phase of life, just sorting through all of that I just haven't sat and done nothing and let it really wash over. If the emotion comes, I let it like happen, but I've been so focused on just like trying to get through this list because it truly is a mountain of I have to move. I'm like moving my stuff. Like a move in general is a crazy amount of logistics, not even including like unmerging your life with someone that you're completely merged with. I was talking to my sister and I was telling her all the stuff we had to unmerge, and she's like, you have more things merged with your boyfriend than I did with my husband when I went through a divorce. Like we have more things combined. It's crazy. So it's a lot of the logistics of all of that, and then also just trying to figure out what the hell do I want to do next year. But it's I see like this certainty because we were in the Tony Robbins event and he talks about the 6 human needs. And for anyone who doesn't listen, anyone who is unfamiliar with the Tony Robbins 6 human needs, I highly suggest you go look up that resource. But just as an overview, it's certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution. And I realized my top 2 needs were love and connection and certainty. And I wanted to shift it to love and connection and growth, which, I mean, if this choice isn't that, I don't know what is. You know, like I literally took every bit of certainty I have in life and I just blew it up. I'm blowing up my entire life, which I do think is going to be, like, I think I'm going to grow so much from this experience. But right now, I'm just like needing to get through the logistics of it all. And that's tough. Like sometimes the admin stuff gets in the way.
Yeah, of course, that's going to happen. And just a lot to think about, a lot to, as you said, move and plan. But as Steph said, I genuinely think you will thrive once these emotions have passed. I think next year is going to be incredible for you from a growth perspective, from a fun perspective. I think your entire wheel will be massively boosted, actually, in many ways. And although it may be hard to see that now, I think in many ways, leaving something or such a big shift like you're going through right now from a relationship where you couldn't do certain things that you necessarily wanted to do, I think is really going to boost most areas in your wheel. Just thinking about the different parts of the wheel that may have been suffering or may have not been as high as they could have been, and the kind of things you're going to be doing in the next year or so. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, they're going to be boosted. There's so much to look forward to and so much excitement. I'm excited for you.
Me too. I mean, you don't even know the lessons that are going to come out of this and the person you're going to become. Like, all we see right now is what is happening.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, the growth that's going to happen is going to be crazy. Like I don't know how I'm going to grow. I just know I'm going to grow exponentially from this experience, which I'm looking forward to. It's just the dealing with right now. I'm in a lot of grief right now. Like I'm grieving the end of something I loved and still love. Like I still love the relationship that we had. I still love him. I still love the idea of the life that we planned out together, and I'm grieving the end of that. Like, and it is true grief. So I'm like in mourning right now. I think a lot of grief I processed through. Steph was saying this was last week when last time we recorded is really going through a lot, and I'm still going through it now. It's different now.
Yeah, and grief's a good way to describe it, of course, because it is grief. But there are different types of grief, I suppose, and obviously everyone grieves in different ways, but I think the grief of a relationship, and it doesn't feel like it initially, but it is something that you can move past. And with time, it does process, it does move on. It feels hard, like a bit of an emotional roller coaster right now, but there's a lot to look forward to once these emotions pass, and it's so fresh. Of course you're going to feel this now, but there's to helping you through that, of course.
Yeah. For everyone listening, we will be talking about this, I'm sure, for the next year. For anyone else who's going through a breakup out there, let me know, please, what helped, what didn't help. I honestly think the only thing everyone's going to say is time, really. Time, and I'm going to drown my sorrows in travel and really push myself outside of my comfort zone, which I'm excited about. Just who knows, really.
Yeah. Are you moving your body?
Yes, I have been. I've been really good about that. It's funny because we got back from UPW and my dad also went to UPW and he's like, I gotta take massive action. I gotta go to the gym. So we actually went to Monday. I worked out twice. I worked out with my dad in the morning and I went to the gym with my sister in the evening. Yesterday I went to the gym once and I was like, I didn't want to go and it was not the best workout, but I'm like, going to the gym and moving that's a win. It's a win to just get to the gym right now. I mean, today I'll go or we'll do something here or something. I don't know. But yeah, actively still moving my body.
That's good because it's when you go through such major life events and major shifts, it can be really easy to lose track of those things. The habits that you previously had, the healthy habits, and so it's really good that you're keeping that going. You want to keep those healthy habits going and to have that healthy routine running in the background so that you don't fall into any kind of a rut. Yeah,
completely. And it's like, I say that the physical health, I mean, obviously I'm not pushing myself as hard right now in that area, but it's more, I'm seeing it kind of suffer more through just I had a lot going. I had a lot going on at once. And because I'm dealing with this mountain of logistics right now, a lot of the stuff for the podcast, whatever, has taken a back seat for right this second. But I mean, I know it'll all get done. It's just a matter of figuring it out, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like the waves are really big and they're consistent, but grief is one of those things that eventually the waves start to get further and smaller. Just time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm dying inside. Like, I feel like death. Like, I mean, but a part of my life is dying.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of my life is dying. Like,
all of it, essentially.
All of it. Literally, I blew up my entire life. Like, my wheel right now is, like, not non-existent. I'd say friends and family are at, like, a fucking 10 right now because everyone is being so amazing. My support system has never been stronger, which I feel really feel really great about. But all other areas pretty much are just like, poof. Like, see ya. Like, relationships, obviously, a fucking 0. Like, -10. I don't know, but yeah. So, that's that.
Is that true though? I mean, not with the relationship part, but every other part of your wheel, just thinking about what there is on the wheel, is everything suffering? Or because again, you told me with your physical health, you keep going.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not the best. I wouldn't say every area is suffering. I would just say every area is like every area is shifting right now drastically, some in good ways and in some in bad ways. Like for example, physical health is like I'm doing the bare minimum right now. Bare minimum, which is still a win at this point, you know? The fact that I'm like getting up out of bed and actually functioning as a human being is a fucking win right now. Or going to the gym in general twice on Monday, who am I? A win. Physical environment is like in some ways it's zero because I'm leaving an environment that I took 2 years to build and 2 years to feel happy in. But then so that's a zero. But then if you think about physical environment of like the digital nomad life, like that's really cool. So it's like that. It's everything. Like my work is I feel like suffering a bit. My career's I don't even think my career is suffering. I know like in the future like this is going to exponentially grow my business. Both of them, you know, but right now it's so difficult to get through the work that like right now it's not. It's like long term, great. But right now, like I am not well.
No.
Yeah.
That's okay. Okay.
Ah.
This doesn't really tie in. I was trying to think of how this does play in, but a quote that came to mind. So I actually saw an Instagram reel yesterday or a couple of days ago, and it was this talking frog. It was like an actual frog that spoke English, and obviously it was animated. But anyway,
Okay.
the frog said, all of us just want to live to see another sunrise. And it got me thinking, and I think it was a meme. I don't think it was meant to be serious, but it really got me thinking about how lucky we are to see the sunrise and to have sunlight and for days to pass and to be able to see how the world grows and we grow as people. And I know it sounds like the bare minimum, but that's a thought process that's really helped me get through the hardest times, is just being grateful for the bare minimum. We've spoken about this before, and of course, Steph, we've probably spoken about this before as well, about being grateful for the tiniest things. And I think that really is apparent in the hardest times when you're struggling to see the light, when certain emotions are running through you and it feels dark, and the whole wheel of life feels so dark and low. It's so important to find gratitude in just the tiniest things, and then you work your way up. It's one brick to build a house, and then you keep adding to that brick, and eventually, you build a house and you build a happy and grateful life. You are, it sounds like, starting from square one, from brick one, and that's a mindset. Take it from the talking frog. All
We
of
need
us just
this
want to
video.
see it.
Yeah, can you send it? Make sure
I'll
to
send
share
it.
it on
It's
on our
such-
platforms.
Yeah, 100%. It's such bullshit, and I think it is literally meant as a meme. But it's about a minute long, and he says a bunch of other stuff about sunlight and life. But anyway, the point is, I was very inspired by it, and it doesn't matter whether it came from a frog or from me.
Okay, but to your point, sometimes when it's the darkest is when we're actually being planted.
Exactly.
How do you mean?
Like, we're in the ground as a little seedling, okay, and all we see is darkness around us, but we don't realize that with the again, because consistency is a big thing, but the water and the sunlight and the working out and taking care of ourselves, like we're being planted and new roots are growing to a new version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Dang. Some deep shit. That's some deep shit.
Take it from the talking Steph. The talking frog.
Talking frog is sure.
Yeah. No. Steph's wisdom is wise.
I'll be here all week.
Uh,
My little seedling.
this is challenging.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But my
It's
big question is, when are you going to come to London?
Definitely at some point this year. I don't know when. I was thinking like European summer question mark because I want to be able to enjoy Europe in the summer.
Yeah.
I just want to chase like sunshine, really, especially if I'm leaving Miami. I don't think going to a gloomy place would make me feel less gloomy. I think definitely my bet would be European summer for sure. Maybe before, maybe after. I don't really know where I'm going next. I had a plan. I had a slight, there are certain things in the year that I'm going to be doing for sure, but the first one, I don't know as of right now. I really had a plan up until 30 minutes ago, and now I'm like, I don't even know anymore. Because the program I was going to do looks like it's sold out. I'm not sure. I emailed them, not sure for sure, but now I have no clue where I'm going to start. But I think I'd like to start before the new year. I don't think I could be like, I just can't imagine doing New Year's Eve like by myself in my parents' house. Like I just can't imagine doing that because that would just, I think, really not be good for my mental health. Like I really should be out like celebrating the year, like end of this past year, beginning of this new year, celebrating everything because this past year, like the quantum leap has been, I asked for it. It's like, that's the crazy part about all of this is like, I asked for a quantum leap this year. I just didn't expect it to be this. So yeah, I'll be in London at some point. Are you coming too?
Me too.
Okay, amazing. Oh.
How do you feel about my, obviously now you've been a bit of a gypsy, a bit of a traveler, a nomad. Do you think you could see yourself ever being back in Miami?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Like it's possible because I love the life there so much, but I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be too like I think long term, I have zero ideas where I could end up. Like I could really end up anywhere. Like anywhere. Like I really even wouldn't put a cap on the United States. Like I could end up in a different country long term. I could end up anywhere. So I don't know. Like I love Miami, but I'm not sure at this point because would it be too painful? And also like Miami's a big small town. Like I don't know if I'd want to run into Paul all the time. You know? Like I don't know if I'd want to do that. So maybe not. I guess I'll figure it out. My sister said that if you travel around and if a place feels like home, she said that's because your like person is there. I don't know how I feel about that. I can't even imagine like dating anyone at this point. That's not even like in a sphere of reference right now. I don't even know where I was going with this. But if a place feels like home, maybe why not? I don't know.
That's a hard one when you're traveling because to me, I travel a lot. It's literally everywhere I go, I'm like, this feels like home. Do you not get that?
Only sometimes. Only sometimes. But you get that everywhere?
Everywhere. I mean, I was in like the slums of Medellin in Colombia, and I was like, yep, this is my place.
Oh. What do you think, Steph?
I think your world is a blank canvas, and it could be anything you want it to be.
Steph just comes out with one-liner after one.
Yeah, seriously. Why are you not all saying that to me? Yeah, your wisdom bombs are the best.
Okay.
What else is... Steph is here. We should take advantage of the fact that we actually have a real guest. Tell us what's happening.
What's happening? I'm a young snowbird, everyone. I travel between Florida and New Jersey, and I have clients in both places.
You have what in both places?
Clients.
Oh, clients. Okay.
Snow.
You see, When it starts to get cold up north, we go south where it's
Right.
warm.
Yeah.
With the sun.
That was the ultimate goal. That was the ultimate goal with my ex. So weird to say. But that's what we wanted to do. Be a snowbird. But I love that you're a snowbird.
Yeah, I love it too.
Yeah.
Where are you spending most of your time?
Florida. I think this year it's probably split like half and half, but usually Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stuff is good. You and I are having these crazy life changes and stuff's just chilling.
Yeah. I can see that.
I love it. I love it so much.
And how's Brad? Is that his name?
Brad's good.
Yeah.
Brad's really good. Yeah. Do you want to meet him?
Oh my god, yes.
Brad's the best guy. We're all obsessed with him. Even Mary, who everyone has listened to on one of our past episodes, Mary's also obsessed with Brad as well. Hi, Brad the lad. Come say hi to Josh.
How you doing,
Hi,
John?
Brad.
I'm Brad.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
He has the
Covered for-
Tony flu.
Yeah.
Oh,
covered
do
from
you?
that. Oh,
Was it your
paper.
first event?
How's your first
Sure.
event?
Phenomenal. Absolutely loved it.
Oh, haha.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Nice to meet you.
None
Brad.
of that was recording. Yeah. Anyway, so we just missed. None of that was recording. Okay. Anyway, just to update the audience on what just happened, Brad came in and said that his biggest takeaway from UPW. Literally, this episode is such a shit show. Can you tell that I'm like not? Brad said that his biggest takeaway from UPW was like the being able to change his state and get in state. Stephanie said,
I said the importance of softening and opening up because when we do that, we allow life to come in, as opposed to when we're closed up, we miss opportunities and connections right in front of us.
that's some deep shit.
It is. Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a motherfucking t-shirt. For you guys listening, this episode has been a shit show, but it's okay because I'm currently a little bit of a shit show, and we appreciate you listening. And we're excited because we're launching next week, a week from today.
Next week.
Woo.
Yeah. Wow.
Ooh.
That's exciting.
It's so crazy. I feel like people are going to sign on wanting to hear the drama about what's happened.
They're going
And
to have to
then-
wait about 6 months.
They're going to have to wait a long while. I don't think these episodes are coming out until March or something. But we're so excited for the launch of this podcast. Obviously, like, we're not recording and uploading in real time, but we're really excited about everything. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a journey.
Yeah. I think something I wanted to touch on actually just quickly is the social media, which I completely understand what you were talking about a couple of months ago about your social media for your podcast, because I feel like I'm seeing the account grow purely from friends, family. We've gone from 0 to we're on like 45 or so followers now, and that's grown by about 20 since we started posting on our stories or on our personal Instagrams, which is
Yeah.
good. That's a good start. But I'm so conscious of the way the Instagram looks, and I want to be pushing to get more of an organic viewer follower pool as well, which we're not
Yeah.
getting at the moment. And obviously there needs to be a drastic change to approach, because I don't think I'm making viral content at the moment. And I have various ideas. It's just about implementing them. And you've discussed one of your ideas about going out on the streets, which I think is a great idea, and interviewing people. That's something that's going viral. But I'm so conscious every time I post, I'm like, I want this to go viral. This is a hot take. Let's get this viral. And then so logging onto the account, looking at it, making sure, or wanting it to look aesthetic, which at the moment it's definitely not.
Yeah.
It's just like real diarrhea, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm super conscious of that, and it is a learning experience. We're only, I don't know, maybe 25, 26 days into posting. It's been less than a month since I started posting, and it is a low learning experience, and I'm trying not to be too hard on myself with that in mind.
Yeah.
but it is, I guess, anxiety inducing. That's one.
Completely. And I think as far as social media goes, it's something I've experienced a lot with my own personal podcast, is that the content's going to be shitty at first. Like anything you do in the beginning is going to be bad. Like you just have to basically continue and just be like, what can I do next time? What can I do next time? Like to improve. And eventually it'll be in a good spot. And you just are constantly learning. So just remember that we're beginners and it's okay to suck.
Yeah.
As long as we just continue doing it and then little over little, just improve.
Yeah, exactly. And making changes as well, I think. Doing the same thing over and over when it's not working is not going to suddenly start working. So it's about learning from what's going right, what's not going right, what's wrong, which is the same thing, and just making those changes to learn from it, to hopefully grow off the back of that.
Yeah.
Which is a lesson for life, not just social media.
Oh, yeah. Anything?
Messy action over perfection any day.
Well, this is what we spoke about before, isn't it? Because before there wasn't any action. And I was prolonging it, and I was just, again, that was anxiety inducing as well. I was like, I don't want to post. What if it goes wrong? But the only way that I can learn and get better is by taking action. As you say, messy action is better than action. That's what was happening before. Now I'm taking messy action, and eventually it will become neat action.
Exactly. The only way to learn is by doing. The only way to grow is by doing. That's what you're doing. And even though you're being hard on yourself, I think the fact that you're doing it at all is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And like no one is going to be perfect their first time out. You know, it's going to take time for us to get the quality of that. I mean, once we improve the quality of like the actual video and like maybe set up like the aesthetic studio or something, or like, I don't know, say some more profound shit.
Yeah, there's not enough of it.
knows?
It's really hard trying to find clips because we don't say any profound shit.
I think we say at least one profound thing per
That was a
episode.
joke. We say plenty.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry. My brain is like not comprehending
We
what
just
real life
don't
is
just
right now.
talk shit for an hour every week.
Sometimes though, like there have been episodes where we're like not saying anything.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I guess you edit it as well, so you listen back. But
No, I mean we
There's-
always say something good. We
yeah,
always say
there's always
something good.
nuggets in there.
It's gonna be all of Steph's clips. this
Honestly,
time.
I was about to say it's just going to be like probably 50 clips of Steph next time.
Here, Steph, drop another wisdom bomb.
Okay, sometimes we disregard all these little steps because we just want to produce massive action, but we forget that the little steps add up.
Damn. Say something else profound.
I don't know, I need to cue up.
I need to
Oh,
recharge.
okay. She can't just do it on command, apparently.
I mean, I could. I just have to think.
But
it's like the biggest.
That's an interesting one because maybe I'm taking the wrong approach, and I don't think this is necessarily what you meant, but maybe I'm taking the wrong approach in just posting blindly every day. Because at the moment I'm trying to post every single day. Maybe instead of posting every day, I should post every other day or every 2-3 days, but instead focus on quality over quantity and virality over shit quality. They both rhyme. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's a change in approach from the mass production side of things that needs to happen.
I mean, I also think there's a different energy when the intention is I'm producing this to help people as opposed to tension is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the underlying feeling behind the podcast, is to help people to get messages out there. I think that's more important. Yeah, you're right. It's more important just getting 1 million followers.
Maybe even it's a matter of, and it's something I can implement within my own business too, and even within our podcast when we're recording or when you're creating social media content or whatever anyone is doing, really, if anyone's out there listening to something, is like setting the intention before you do it probably makes a world of a difference when it comes through. Because I've even heard about my podcast content, like for my personal podcast, that it's, it feels like you're just checking off a box. And it's like, what kind of difference would it make if I was like stepping into gratitude or getting into peak state before I was recording or before I was editing anything, instead of doing it like, oh, this is something I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, right now I wouldn't say it's something that I have to do. I feel I actually, now that I've built that routine, built that habit, I actually feel like I want to do it. And in making the clips for the Instagram at the moment, I'm really enjoying going back and listening over the episodes and watching our reactions. And it's really, I'm enjoying it, and I actually look forward to it every day now. It's not a case of I have to do it, but I think there's still, again, a mentality, mindset shift in the reason I'm doing it that needs to happen.
Yeah.
That will help.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else have any other profound things to say?
You charged up?
I am charged up. I have to head off soon. But there was this little girl, and one day all she wanted to do was catch a butterfly. This butterfly was like flying around her. She kept running after it. The butterfly obviously wouldn't stay still. And finally, the little girl gave up. She sat down in the grass, and she was really upset. And the moment of stillness was the moment the butterfly decided to land on her leg. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the chasing that we don't take a moment to, I mean, if we close the loop and go back to the beginning of the episode of centering ourselves in the chaos of work, that's when the answers come in our stillness, not always in our chasing.
Damn.
There were so many situations going through my head just then where I could just slow down, be still. It's times where I have done and where clarity has come. So, very interesting.
Well, it's definitely a reflective moment for us as we move into this next chapter. For both of us, and Steph is just chilling like a villain over here with just she's in a great stage of life right now. Her wheel of life is full and complete, going like a wheel, like a nice smooth wheel, no bumps in her wheel. But for you and I, we're in a big transitional moment, and it's exciting when it's a lot. It's a lot at once. I think being still is a really good, some profound shit.
Absolutely.
The answers don't come from here, our heads. They come from our hearts.
Damn. Everything Steph says, just put on a t-shirt.
I know, literally.
Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for listening this week. Thank you for bearing with me as I'm processing through this time, and we'll catch you next week. I mean, for us, it's the launch, but for you guys, you're just going to be hearing us next week like normal. But for us, next week is a very exciting week that we're launching this podcast. We should definitely do something to celebrate. I don't know what.
Flight, maybe.
Listen, I really could actually, for real. I really could. I mean, maybe not next week, but I don't know.
No, don't come now. It's horrible, right? It's cold
rainy.
and it's wet and it's grey.
Listen, if you're still able to work remotely, we could really go somewhere warm.
We could.
Okay. Well, we'll see you guys next week on Mastermind Moments. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to do all the things and support all the things and send all the love and do all the stuff. And we'll chat next week. Bye.
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 We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and follow along on social media.
If you would like us to help you mastermind something in your life, please send us a message.
We'll see you next week on the Mastermind Moments podcast.